Welcome back to BHookedCrochet.com. I'm your host Brittany. In this tutorial I'm going to demonstrate how to crochet the star stitch. This is a simple 2-row repeat pattern that can be used for various different projects when working on a flat piece. For this tutorial I'm going to be using a size 5.5mm crochet hook and a worsted weight yarn. However, you can accomplish this pattern with any weight yarn and any size hook that coordinates. To begin the star stitch, we need a chain that is a multiple of 2 plus 1. So we first need to create our slip knot. And now we're just going to create any number of chains that's a multiple of 2, and then we're going to add 1 to the end. For the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to crochet 14 chains. And now once you have your 14 chains, if you're following along with just a demonstration, we're going to add 1 chain to the end. However, if you're actually working on your project, go ahead and chain any number that you need for the size of your project in a multiple of 2, and then just add 1 chain to the end. To create the first star, we're simply going to insert our hook into that second chain, yarn over, and pull up a loop, and then just leave it there on your hook. Now we're going to do that for the next chain, and leave that loop on your hook as well. Repeat that for the next chain. So we have 4 loops now. We're looking to have 5. So we're going to go into that next chain, pull up a loop, and now there we have 5 loops on our hook. Then we're going to yarn over and pull through all 5 loops on our hook. And now you'll notice when I drew that up how it kind of created a little edge there on the side, and that's what we're looking for. We're going to be maintaining that pattern all the way throughout, that way that we have a clean edge on the end of our piece. Now one thing you'll notice I did, after I drew through all of those loops, I made a chain. So I chained 1, and that chain created a little hole or a circle in the center of the star. And that piece is very important because we're going to be working in that to start off our next star. So we're going to insert our hook into that circle, pull up a loop, then we're going to find the chain that we last worked into. So if you look at this last bar from the previous star stitch, you'll notice that the chain is open a little bit, and that's the chain that we want to work into. So we just yarn over, pull up a loop again, and now we're going to extend into our chain a little bit more, just like we did, over the next 2 chains. So again, we want to have 5 loops on our hook, and then once we've done that, we'll yarn over, pull through all 5, and then we'll make a chain 1 to close it off. Now we'll just repeat that. Go into the circle, pull up your loop, go into the chain where that last stitch was created, pull up your loop, into the next chain, and the next chain. And there we've got 5 loops on our hook, pull through all 5, and chain 1. Now we'll keep going until we reach the end of this row. Now once you have reached the end of your row, you should make the last chain a part of your star stitch, we're going to add another stitch into that chain. We're going to half double crochet into that chain to finish things off and then to give us a more even side on this portion of our pattern. To begin row 2, we simply need to chain 2 and turn our work. Now that chain 2 is going to count as a half double crochet. And for this portion of the pattern, it's actually pretty simple. We want to find the circles or the little center piece of each one of those stars. So you can see that one is right there. And we need to half double crochet 2 times into every one of those little circles. Now we'll locate the next little circle, half double crochet 2 times. And the next one. Okay, and now once you have placed your last 2 half double crochets into that circle, we're going to add another half double crochet into the top portion of this last star in order to make this side a flat surface. So we're going to just yarn over, insert our hook into those top 2 loops of that last star stitch, and just make a half double crochet in there. So you can see what we've done there is just closed up that small gap, so then now we'll have a straight edge. Now we've gone through both of the rows of this repeat pattern, but we're going to go ahead and continue and do 2 more rows just so you can see how each of the rows of star stitch are built upon each other. So when you finished up row 2, we need to chain 3. And then we're going to turn our work. And now there are a couple of different things that you can do here. I like to work in the back loop only of the stitches, and that gives you a braided edge sort of separating the 2 rows of star stitch. However, you can go into the entire stitch, so just keep that in mind. With our chain 3 here, what we need to do is we're going to skip this first chain, and we're going to insert our hook into the second chain, yarn over, and pull up a loop. Now we'll find that next chain, insert the hook, pull up a loop. And as I said, I'm going to go into the back loops only, so we're going to do that for that next stitch. We're going to do it one more time into the next stitch, so again we have 5 loops on our hook. Now we'll just yarn over, pull through all 5, and chain 1 to finish it off. Now we're going to proceed as normal. We just want to insert our hook into that circle, pull up a loop, into that same stitch, and into the next 2. And we'll just repeat this across our row. Now once you make your last star stitch, you should have one stitch left over, and we're going to half double crochet into that stitch. And now we're ready to begin the next row. To begin the next row, we need to chain 2. That's going to count as a half double crochet, and turn our work. Now we'll just find that first little circle and half double crochet 2 times. And half double crochet 2 times into every circle from the star stitches from the previous row. Now again, once we reach the end of this row, we're going to add a half double crochet to those top little bars of that previous star stitch. So if you look on the top, you can see it's a V. I like to go under both of those loops and just create the half double crochet. Now what we're looking at here is the wrong side of our work. And if you flip it over, we like to call this the right side because, as you can see, you've got the nice braided edge in between, and the stitches look a little bit cleaner and a little more like stars from this side of the work. So basically all you would do at this point now is continue those 2 repeat rows until your piece is as long as your pattern calls for, or as long as you need it to be. So with that, this concludes our demonstration on the star stitch pattern. Stay tuned for more free patterns and video tutorials at bhookedcrochet.com.